a jolly day. Would you like to try our peach mango pie with a side of a weekly Phoenix Wright kissing appointment? Because if you do, then let's go ahead and get started.
I keep on forgetting to do the thing. Oh my god. Here we go. Hi, hey. Hope you guys are all doing good. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. Welcome in. CB, thank you so much for being first. Hiya. Mabufula, welcome in. Tara, here for the kissing appointment. Good. Thanks for stopping by. And Fireball, hello. How's everyone doing today? Is everything working right on my end? As usual, can we get a sound check? Can you let me know if the game audio is fine, if you guys can hear me fine, all the works and stuff like that. But welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, and happy Sunday morning to you guys. Hope you guys are all doing well. I had a pretty good weekend, honestly. Yesterday, I had a good time. I went and got some good old food. To no one's surprise, I hung out with Reisna. And then I kind of just took it easy, which is nice. I was just taking it easy at home and stuff. We can hear you in the game just fine. All right, awesome. Good. But yeah, we're here. Let me get some water really quick. Man, it was so funny because I went to go get breakfast, right? I picked up some Jollibee for breakfast. Because I don't know why, I like doing that on Sundays before I do Ace Attorney. But I told myself, oh, I'll do my 5-minute, or I'll do my vocal warm-up before I go, like while I'm driving and stuff. And then I totally forgot to do that today. So I haven't done that. I might need to do it just because it's always safe to do it during Ace Attorney, but you know how it is, right? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll go do it because I think it's better to have it done than to not have it, and then I just screw myself over. So we'll switch over to the Zatsudan screen. All right. Yeah, for those of you that have not joined us on anything like this, usually for streams where I do a lot of reading or anything like that, I like to do a vocal warm-up just to make sure that my vocal cords are, well warmed up and I don't screw myself over doing anything too crazy character-wise, but also because it is literally, it's not that early in the morning anymore. It's like almost 11 a.m. for me, but it's still in the morning. I haven't really talked much today. I haven't really used my voice a lot, so it's probably for the best to play it safe and do some warming up. So let me go ahead and get the video. Let's do this.
We are starting with a hum. Now, mum. Now, lip roll arpeggio.
Welcome in,
Now,
Mimo!
arpeggio on Goog.
All right. Thank you guys for joining me in the vocal warm-up. Honestly, the lip trills are usually, that's the one where like my throat starts feeling a lot more warmed up and better. It's really good just because it gets like, I don't know the science. I can't really explain the science behind it, but I think it's probably one of the more helpful exercises in warming up your voice and stuff like that. And hello, Mumu. The vibrations, probably. But I think I remember I was also watching this video that's like how to like soothe a sore throat and stuff. And they also recommended like humming and lip trilling and stuff like that too. So. But yeah, now that we are sufficiently warmed up, I feel a lot more ready to go ahead into Apollo Justice. So let's do it. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you guys want to answer today's check-in question, Today's check-in question is, what is your guys' favorite candle or body care, which is like a body wash, a body spray, anything like that, scent? Because Ginger brought to my attention that the Bath & Body Works semi-annual sale has begun, aka I lost a lot of shmoney. But did I really lose if I'm winning because I love this stuff? But I lucked out. I ended up getting a candle for champagne toast for like $8, which was crazy. Because they normally go for like $24. So I got that. I got some. My favorites are the hand pump or the pump hand soaps. Those are really good too. So, but I typically like. It really depends. Like fruity scents are nice, but I also like floral-y, like lavender sorts of things like that, you know? But if you guys want to answer that, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and start episode 4, the first day of the trial. Coconut and vanilla. Ooh, vanilla's really good. Coconut, I think coconut smells good, but taste-wise, it's not my favorite. Walmart has a candle called Garden Rain. Really? Wait, what is this? Let me look this up. Walmart Garden Rain. Because, what is it? What the heck? The Walmart website's not letting me in? Target also has some candles too. Why can't I look this up at the website? There's heavy traffic on the site right now. We'll let you in soon. No need to refresh. This page reloads every few seconds. What the heck? Really? Garden floral, water lily, apple blossom. Ooh, apple's a really good scent that's like subtle, but like you know the smell of apple, right? Very yummy. October 8th, 9:48 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby, number 6. Hey, good morning!
So, you're Vera, right? I'm Trucy. Trucy Wright. That's right with a W, but not right, right?
Welcome in, May. You saw Trucy and immediately had to come out of the woodworks.
We're on your side. You can tell us anything. Please?
Good morning. She speaks!
Not bad, not bad. But I think you can do better with a little smile, you know? You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know?
Trucy, let's take it easy for starters. Thank you for taking my case. The biggest. Okay. Well, that's a start, I guess. There she goes with the nail polish again.
That's great, really. It's so cultured.
Want to try?
Ooh, really?
Girls. We get it, you're gay, Apollo. The victim, Drew Measham, was a forger. And a stolen painting was found in his studio. A life of crime, really. And maybe one that led to his death. October 8th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3.
Well, will we now, begin the, trial of, Vera Measham.
Is the judge okay? His voice is all raspy and he's looking all nervous like.
The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time, and may indeed alter our legal system forever.
Today is a test of the jurist system, and the first step towards a new order in our courts.
Daddy's secret mission!
The jurist will function like a They're introducing this in the final case? The jurist will function like a jury. It is hoped that their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurists in the courtroom? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch this courtroom at all times. The jurists have access to everything that transpires. Jurists! Judge well and judge cool.
Now, see here, Prosecutor Gavin. I was going to say that.
My apologies there, Judge.
Jurists, today, Judge, today's trial, coolly, if you would be so kind.
The jurists are unbound by the letter of the law. They're also unbound by the limits of the DS hardware. They don't affect the trial with evidence, by their feelings. And we're about to find out just what effect they're going to have.
Very well. Prosecutor Gavin, the details of the case, if you would.
The victim is the painter Drew Misha. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera Misha.
Objection!
There wasn't any poison in the coffee! Achtung! Someone has been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself.
The mug? Residue was found on the rim, I see.
The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death.
The court accepts this as evidence.
Misham's autopsy report added to the court record.
According to this report,
Victim's name, Drew Misham, age 52, male. Time of death, October 6th, between 9 and 9:30 p.m. Cause of death, atroquinine poisoning.
the victim's death was caused by atroquinine poisoning.
A chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is a mere 0.002 milligrams. Oh, a touch of atroquinine in the body is the touch of the Reaper's sight. You ever heard of Kieran, Judge?
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. You may present your witness.
I have for you today a simple man for a simple case. A man who has witnessed the murder in its entirety. Oh, the journalist, no doubt. The witness will state his name and occupation. Right. Hi, how are ya? If I just put his SpongeBob over this guy.
Well, for starters, my name is Spark Brushel. My job is lone observer of the world.
In other words, a freelance journalist, right?
If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record.
Yes, Mr. Brushel.
Actually,
I'm currently grinding out the new event in Grand Blue Fantasy Relink because of the new send-off on DLC character. So, if you would mind having this trial be fast so that I can continue my grind. I dislike conclusions. Specifically, the aspect of jumping to conclusions. Preconceptions make pocket sandbox of endless desert waste, end quote. But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday. Well, that's true, yes. But if you must understand, I stand before you today a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Brussel into that, Mr. Brussel, end quote.
Let's hear your testimony then, shall we?
A simple case, eh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out. Welcome in, Ashfrost. The journalist's story. I visited the studio around 9 that night to do the interview. The first outsider to enter the hotel. I gotta go, guys. Game's over. We're never playing Ace Attorney again, guys. I can't do this. I cannot do this. Don't worry, just turn off your brain. The first outsider to enter the atelier. Journalistic history made, end quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next? Star falls, end quote. No one else has entered the room besides her the whole time.
That does sound like a simple case. Unless you were the one who poisoned him.
Yeah, what are you saying, Judge?
Need I remind you the cameras are rolling today? I felt the need to be a bit dramatic.
You didn't do it, did you? Me? Come on. That's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote. Rock indeed.
Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun.
I'm so happy for him. Yeah, this guy is so nasty. I really don't like him. Winter candy apple. Oh, actually, at the Bath and Body Works I went to, they had winter candy apple candles for sale at $8.99 as well. I should have gotten one, but I was happy to get this champagne toast one. Why did Automod get nasty, girl? Is somebody gonna match my nasty? Is somebody gonna match my freak? Automod really said, Atelier Kieran user added permitted term nasty girl. I love Automod. Oh my god, she's living in the 1960s. On Pride Month? I know. That's very much not a sleigh.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Your cross-examination, please.
This judge is acting so nervous as if like we haven't been streaming the entire, like every single case he's ever worked on. I can't look at him. I can't look at him. I can't look at him. He's so nasty, but not the good kind.
Hold it!
9 at night? Isn't that a little late for an interview?
If the great painter Drew Measham says come at 9, believe you me, I go at 9. The first and, as it turned out, last interview with such a prolific painter.
Right. Can you tell us what it was like when you arrived?
Hold it!
Not snake oil. You were the first reporter ever in Drew's studio?
Posterity will look back on that night as a turning point in journalistic history. A basically insignificant step for all of mankind.
A Sigma male? No. What's that one? Tybo. The Tybo DVDs.
But a giant step for that bristle guy, end quote.
If no one on the outside ever had access to the studio, then it would serve the reason that the deed was done by an insider. By which he means Vera did it. No. I just remember having the like Tybo DVDs because when you mentioned Sigma Male Grind Set, I just remember having like I think my sister or my mom had one of those. So, how did this epic making interview go?
Hold it!
Would you mind being a little more specific?
Let me tell you, I enjoy a cuppa. In fact, it all began when I was in the third...
That's not what I meant! I believe I know what her forehead is driving at. This coffee the victim was served. Did anyone other than the defendant touch it? Brusho looks like a mission control guy from NASA, like from Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks. Right! That! That's what I was going to say, really.
Well now, if you had a question to ask, you'd best straight up ask it. That's what I tell all the new recruits, several times if necessary. Right for a grade schooler. That's my motto. Which isn't to say I can only write grade school level.
Who touched the coffee?
Don't know. I was in the back looking at the studio's equipment when she served it.
I think Apollo is definitely not the most normal person in this courtroom. And what happened next?
Hold it!
What's this about a star falling?
Star Falls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Send shmoney. Over.
Zowie! You don't know? That's like a journalism code word. An important personage passes away. A star falls. Get it?
But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could fall, really.
Does this matter?
Oh boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. But how about star breaks? Nah, wax punch. I know. Star dies. Nah, wax imagination. Of course, you could go with Drew dies, straight to the point. I like it.
I think we need to hear about something a little more substantial. About when Mr. Measham passed away.
Oh boy, what a scene that was. He puts his coffee mug down with a crash, right?
Yes, and then?
Then the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputters and fails. So cold was that touch, he could do naught but tremble uncontrollably. No, let's not get a little too nasty, okay? Actually, life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go.
I think he's starting his article already.
Could you describe that a little more simply, please?
Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist's seizure is final performance, end quote.
Troquinine paralyzes the central nervous system. The body arches back like a bow, the limbs tremble, the throat burns.
It's quite enough of that. Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight.
Oh, yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details!
For that, you can listen to last year's hit single, Troquinine My Love by the Governors, available at all major music outlets.
The point here is that the victim died of a troquinine poisoning. Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony?
Sure. Well, as an account of the moment of the victim's death, I'd say it's very important. Please add it to the testimony.
Very well. The court requests the witness add this account to his testimony.
Hold it!
You say it was definitely death by poison. How can you be so sure?
Hey, look, I'm a journalist. I've seen a lot of things. And I've had more than my share of experiences with so-called poisonings. Man eats fishy fish, goes bye-bye. End quote.
Food poisoning does not count. Should I get him to talk about something else? You say Mr. Measham had the coffee too, but did you actually see him drink the coffee?
Of course! He who sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger. End quote. I live in a man sees dog eats dog and writes about it world. Yet?
Yet?
I guess I can't say I saw him drink it, really. He had one so-called sip, if that. Man puts lips to mug drinks, end quote.
That poison is quite virulent, I hear.
My stomach did a so-called somersault, since I gulped down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there! Some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess, for the record?
Does this guy have a pause button?
Well, Mr. Justice, did you find that testimony valuable?
The coffee Mr. Measham drank. That has to be important somehow.
Nah.
Oh, okay, so that is the important one.
Hold it!
So, you drank the coffee that Vera served you too?
Of course, when someone serves you coffee, you drink it. That's what my old boss always used to say. Never did get what he meant by it, though.
But you're still alive, which is to say you didn't die.
Of course not. No point falling before you're a star. End quote.
That's not exactly what I was getting at. What were you getting at then? You know, the poison was on the rim, not in the coffee.
Oh, yes. There was 2 cups on the tray that she brought. And the cups that had Drew's signature painted on the side.
No chance the guests would take that one by mistake, I guess.
Well, Mr. Justice, was that testimony important?
We're talking about the coffee the witness drank. I'd say that is important.
Very well. Please add that to your testimony, Mr. Brushel.
I drank the coffee too, but I'm not dead yet.
Hold it!
You're sure you drank the coffee?
Yes, quite. I gulped it down, felt that sweet scorch in my throat.
But you say the victim took one sip and fell over. And you still kept drinking?
Of course! Drink your coffee when it's hot, never when it's not. That's what my old boss used to always say. Never really knew what he meant by it.
Should I get him to talk about something else? Yeah, we already read this, so... The victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over?
Oh, yes. You can go to press with that one.
Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information! Hi, Ginger, welcome in. Please add it to the testimony.
Very well. The witness will add this to his testimony.
You have to answer today's check-in question. You literally are the reason why it's the check-in question.
Vital! Right.
Hold it!
So he either took a sip or he didn't and then fell over?
Oh, yes! Indubitably, just like that. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
So Mr. Measham drank the coffee and fell over immediately. I think Brushel's telling the truth, too. Should I get him to talk about something else? Okay, I think maybe it's the first one. Fresh cut lilacs and champagne toast. I was just saying, I got so lucky. I found a candle jar of champagne toast for 3 wick for $8 at my semi-annual sale.
Hold it!
Can you say that for sure?
For sure. Sure, I'm sure. Drew Studios isn't a big place, kiddo. I'd know it if someone else had come in.
What if they'd been hiding in there from before?
Objection!
Even if someone had been hiding in the studio, they hardly could have poisoned that mug without anyone noticing.
You think I, Spark Brushel, would miss something as obvious as that? No way!
He sure makes it sound exciting. I guess that's his job.
There's only one moment we need to focus on, really.
The moment when Mr. Measham died?
Exactly. There has to be something there. Where's Lada? I miss her? Oh, I do not miss her. Do I like her more than this guy? Yes, but I don't miss Lada. I can't believe your brother went to SAS without you. That's so evil. Death by poison. Did you just use a cup?
Objection!
No. Ugh, I'm not smart. I'm not that smart.
Objection!
No? Wait, maybe it is the last one. Hold on, wait. Let me try some. So we'll press it. I hate this one where you have to like choose the options, right? Maybe it's about his coffee and then we present the coffee mug. Objection! You know what I have a problem with? You! A particular property of the poison used, atroquinine.
Oh, Prosecutor Gavin was quite clear about the poison. A lethal dosage of 0.002 milligrams paralyzes the central nervous system. If you drank that, even you, Mr. Justice, would be reduced to a quivering pile.
Why are you using me as an example? Unfortunately, we weren't told everything. There was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information.
An omission?
Atroquinine is used as virulent, as he says. But death doesn't come upon ingestion. Not immediately. That's because atroquinine is slow-acting!
Slow acting?
According to one forensic scientist.
It's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. Takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for the adverse effects to show.
If we suppose that the moment Mr. Measham sipped the coffee when he was sealed his fate, then he would still have had time to left to enjoy his last cup of joe!
Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? If what the defense says is correct, why, that contradicts the entire testimony we've just heard.
Well, Mr. Brushel, anything to say? On the record? No, Emma's Australian. We give Emma Australian because Emma from H2O. That's the whole joy. The whole joke is that she's Australian.
Slow acting, S-L-O-W-A-C-T. It was virulent, all right. Even though it had already begun digging its claws into the journalist.
He's working on his scoop.
Objection!
It's Brushel, yeah? Airbrushel. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Huh? Did the victim really die the instant he took a sip? Think it over. Oh, this is vital.
You know what I think? I think that was, a not-so-subliminal suggestion, end quote.
I admit it does cause a problem if he died when you say he died. I would be forced to say auf Wiedersehen to my simple case. And you would be forced to say farewell to your article.
Come again.
CV, thank you so much for the care package. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and stand up from our seats. We're gonna go ahead and twist our bodies to the left. Let's twist our bodies to the right. Let's stretch our arms straight up to the sky. Let's roll out that right shoulder. Let's roll out that left shoulder. Very slowly, very gently, let's roll out that neck. Let's take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Let's go ahead and drink some water. Thank you for taking care of me. You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. Scoop, scoop, ew, 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 I don't want to look at that, ew. Scoop. Scoop. Look, wait, just a second, just 1 second. Welcome in, Tuki.
We're waiting! Out with it!
Oh, wow. Damn, I wish I had a sound effect of, like, the sips tea. I think I just recalled a so-called important detail. A revival of recollection, end quote. A story survival, end quote. Attorney utterly confused, end quote. That was a lot to witness.
Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I'd heard of the poison that takes its sweet time, see?
But not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently.
Mr. Brussel, are you saying you noticed something that explained what happened?
Oh, you bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say.
Or I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say.
I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee.
Order!
As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony. That Mr. Measham died the instant after he drank.
Of course I'm standing by my testimony. And my dream of exclusive rights to the story.
Ugh. I suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case. Not him.
Him?
Phoenix Wright. Who else? Achtung, Brussel. Report for us, if you would. What is it that you noticed?
This court is a critical trial of the jurist system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed.
What Brussel noticed.
When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Measham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note?
A suicide note?
Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation, end quote.
Suicide? Oh, poor Mr. Measham. But that means Vera's innocent.
Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview?
Oh.
Very well, you may begin your cross-examination.
How did this dude become a reporter? How did anyone in Ace Attorney get their jobs? I think that's a more important question.
Hold it!
Was there anyone at the studio other than Mr. Measham?
Well, his daughter Vera, of course.
Was anyone besides Mr. Measham and Vera present?
Not a single one. Not a cat, not a rat, not even a mouse. Woohoo!
The only person who didn't belong to that studio there was you, wasn't it, Mr. Brushel?
I know what you're doing. I know your game. Attorney uses classic Ramsden phenomenon ploy and quote.
If you intend to suggest that this reporter is a suspect, I'm sure you also intend to present evidence supporting that assertion, correct? In the meantime, let's move along, shall we?
Hold it!
So he put the letter away when he saw you?
Early reporter gets the worm, end quote. That's my secret.
I'm not sure I follow.
It's the night of the interview. I arrive 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in.
Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really?
Mr. Measham, sir, seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. I know a secret when I spot one, and that was one.
It does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice,
I wonder. It does have the ring of something important. The defense finds this testimony vital, Your Honor.
very well. Please add it to the testimony, then.
Yay, why not? My account comes free of charge.
A yellow envelope? No, it's red. Objection! As it just so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope!
What?
Prosecutor Gavin! Yes? Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, no. But, Air Forehead, it's easy to mistake the color of an envelope. I guess. But not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already. 7 years ago.
Well, Mr. Brushel,
I can explain that. Drew, right, he wanted to get that letter in an envelope pronto. Get it out of sight from my beady eyes, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed it away.
And what about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump?
well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to this witness's claim?
That night, the victim put a letter he'd been writing in a red envelope. No, because he wasn't writing it. It was to him. That's impossible! I like your expression. It's so full of confidence, babe. It's simple, really. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope! With the assistance of a forensic scientist that may or may not be working for the prosecution. What? Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Measham.
Oh?
Why would he address a letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself?
I've been scooped!
Order! 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 Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court?
Oh, my. How could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to be the best. Reporter gets out, old, and forgets lots. End quote.
I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Brushel.
Well, that's the thing, see. After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Measham sat there searching his desk drawer for something.
His desk drawer.
Yes, a stamp, postage stamp, end quote.
A stamp? Whatever for?
Well, to mail his letter, what else? And then, why, yes, I think I saw him put it in his letterbox. Yes, it was a yellow envelope, and he put it in that box.
Well, apparently this yellow letter has...
Oh, how I wish it did. Just think if it were a suicide note, what a story! Star writes suicide note in front of reporter, falls, end quote.
As I was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. That said...
Yes, Your Honor?
Makes me wonder what the contents of that red envelope was. $100,000 is quite a good deal of money.
So this was from 7 years ago, yeah?
So, am I finished? Here, I mean, am I finished here? I was thinking of, going home to start writing.
I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that, rather unique face.
Come on!
Drew Measham one No! Stop! No! He's not giving mother. Stop it.
Attorney has active imagination, little else, and quote.
Even I noticed something, and my eyes aren't exactly what they used to be. I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about.
Like, let's be real here. Which Ace Attorney characters are even girly pop? I don't think any of them are. Well, I mean, any of the main ones here are. Maybe Trucy. Trucy's girly pop, but no one else. Judge has active imagination, end quote.
Please continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of a story.
Hey, I'm the one asking the questions here. Usually.
That's so nasty. He brushes his teeth and then he uses that, nasty, saliva to brush his glasses. He's so gross. This might be the worst NPC that Ace Attorney's ever given us. I really just don't want to ever... They keep on topping themselves, but not in the way that I want them to, you know?
Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leverages story, gets his interview, end quote.
No, Larry's just, he's a dumb boy, but he's not like this, Larry, the shenanigans he gets into is just because he's a straight dude, but this guy is actively disgusting. Physically, and the thing, it's just, Larry, you're just that's Larry. This guy, you're just ew, stay away from me.
The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare.
So you threatened to go to press with this, story? That's how you got your interview? Blackmail?
Well, yes. I mean, no. I wasn't exactly
Something wrong, Mr. Brushel?
I mean, it's not even like attractiveness. It's like Larry's animations. He doesn't get a nasty animation where he's brushing his teeth and then brushes his glasses with the saliva, or like his eyes are bulging out like a cartoon character, but not in a funny way. It's like this guy is actively gross and disgusting, and Larry's just like, he's just like that dude that like, he's just a dude, you know?
Oh. This is not my story, my tidbit. Journalist's info is livelihood. End quote.
I see.
While you have me chatting away here, what's going on up there? What if some Wally Wordsworth or Sally Scooper gets wind of my story? They could be going to press while I'm going to waste.
The court feels your pain, Mr. Brushel. Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace.
A certain case. 7 years ago. Wait! 7 years ago?
Huh?
The scent of a story. Oh, no, sorry, good. I don't have to read this. Can we get rid of this guy? He's so gross. Oh, now it's bracelet time. I got it. The victim, Drew Measham, had an aversion to reporters?
Boy, I guess not even my considerable charms did much for him. Until I finally got my thumbs up, that is.
Maybe you can elaborate on that for a bit for us? Oh, do we have to like perceive his nose? Oh, this is so nasty. We gotta like look close up at his face. Can we just not proceed? Can I just take the guilty plea? You know what's even nastier? It's the definition on the mouth. It's like how people make those edits where like they just copy and paste that like nasty smile onto like anime characters. Yeah, that uncanny valley smile. Oh no! He's not sniffing! Okay, so I gotta cross-examine everything then. Can't compute mod power won't let me ban him? Exactly what sort of story was this?
Oh, a little one, like I said. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing in between, end quote. I might have suggested I have a lead on this particular story, but I didn't threaten or cajole or nothing. Honest.
So his suggestion was enough to get an interview? Mr. Measham must have really wanted to keep it under wraps. A certain case 7 years ago? Tell us, what case?
Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case.
What? Why not?
It's about journalistic pride and staunchness and credibility and connections. Journalist reveals sources only over his dead body. End quote. So what'll it be? Gonna strangle me? Dead men don't tell tales, Mr. Attorney!
He sounds pretty determined not to talk.
The chances of breaking his will aren't looking good.
On the one hand, we have your story, and on the other, this letter. What makes you think the two are related? Money, Money, welcome in. Can you please give Money, Money a warm welcome for being new here in the chat?
I was just saying it's possible. College reporters' intuition, end quote. Hey, I say a lot of things. You're gonna pick all of them apart. Be my guest, be my guest.
All of them? No, just the incredibly suspicious ones.
I see. Anything else to add, Mr. Measham?
Just how amazing was Mr. Measham's talent?
Huh? Ooh, wee boy. I mean, hey, he's a star, a man, a star. The flow of his brush is like a great undulating river across the canvas. Artist paints light up studio like sun, end quote.
This guy's full of wacky gestures. But that one just now was wackier than usual.
He looks kind of nervous to me, Apollo.
Definitely. I'm sensing something different than before here. Maybe it's time to bring out you-know-what.
That testimony left a bad taste in my mouth.
It all makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous.
I wonder what this story he's talking about is. It must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that.
Something powerful enough to drag Mr. Measham out of hiding. I wonder. Maybe it had something to do with Mr. Measham's art? What do we have here? What do we have here? What could the tick be? Lunch is here. You're taking any excuse to get out of here. Temporarily free from Brushel. Hopefully he's gone by the time you come back. Okay, so we can't see his hands, so we don't have anything there. Maybe it's not time to use it yet. Can we use it again? No. I'm also surprised that the champagne toast candle is not that strong when I light it up. Can't really smell the aroma from it. Maybe Brushel sniffed it all from me.
Hold it! Objection!
No, I think we do have to suss it out, but I don't know what his, like, giveaway tick is. I thought it was the sniffing, but it's not. I don't want to keep on zooming in on his face, too. It's, like, so nasty to look at. Wow, this is so hard. I wish we didn't have to zoom in. I wish we could zoom out so we could see the whole body. Oh, ew, pit stain! Ew!
Gotcha!
Yeah! Sweat much, Mr. Brushel? Yeah, well, a man can't help his glands, you know. It just gets worse and worse. It's more than that. When Mr. Meesham's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. You're hiding something about his talent. What? That's ridiculous. He's been a nasty girl, derogatory! Evidence time. Oh. That was so gross. I was like, there's no, like, I don't see, like, a blink, I don't see a sniff, I don't see a finger twitch, it's the fucking sweat glands. Ah! And I'm saying this as someone with hyperhidrosis. Let's show where Mr. Meesham's true talent lay. Oh, it just so happens that I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in that letter.
Take that!
Take that! I have to show a specific piece of art. Are you fucking kidding me? Maybe we can't call him a nasty girl because saying you're a nasty girl is like reclaiming and like saying it's a good thing, you know? Like, I don't like.
Take that!
This painting was found in Mr. Meesham's studio. There are two problems with this painting. The first is that it wasn't painted by Mr. Meesham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Yeah, I tried presenting that. What the hell? Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries! Good. That is all, Your Honor.
Everyone, please, everyone! Can we keep this private? Please, please, please! This is my story, my scoop!
Forgery? That is a serious crime!
Drew Meesham is known as an artist these days. But there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back.
Another art, meaning forgery.
Drew Meesham was talented, all right. Talented at making precise, detailed fakes that you would buy from Crazy Red in Animal Crossing. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover.
Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about...
Exactly. I'm talking about forging evidence. The rumors started circulating 7 years ago.
7 years ago? So, are we to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 was for...
Exactly. Forged evidence nets tidy profit and go out.
Order! 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 Why, it's like our victim was living a double life!
Ha! This is my chance! So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we knew nothing about!
Objection!
This is my first time hearing this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation.
Objection!
But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here.
Objection!
But there's no proof tying this letter to our case. Our case was and remains simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course.
Hey! The only thing I poison is my pen when I'm writing reviews.
Mr. Brussel, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen.
What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid.
Journalism so solid you could stand on an elephant on it. End quote.
In any case, Let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial is over.
Apollo, what's he talking about?
The cross-examination showed Mr. Brushel didn't have a reason or means to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera. That's what. This next testimony is our last chance.
Mr. Brushel, your testimony, please.
The interview. A recap.
The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She's admitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug. And nothing left of that studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter!
Nice testimony. Clear, succinct, and without room for doubt.
Oh, shucks. You really think so? Blush.
I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your final cross-examination.
Right. I still have one trump card left to play, and I won't let this trial end until I use it!
Objection!
Oh shit, I thought I could use it there. Hold on. I got a croissant from the bakery to have as a snacky, as a snackoo. It's a Nutella croissant.
Objection!
Maybe I should have heated it up. I'll put it in the air fryer and reheat it later on.
Hold it!
But that doesn't prove Vera poisoned it!
Objection!
How many times have we heard that one, Air Forehead? The poison reached its victim via the coffee mug. And from where did that coffee come from? Not to beat a dead horse again and again, but perhaps you could fill us in?
I'm on it! You need a horse beat? I'm your man.
Hold it!
And you witnessed her pouring the coffee?
Of course I didn't witness it. When she came in with that tray, the coffee was already poured and a steaming!
Let us not forget the defendant has admitted to pouring the coffee herself. I heard her statement. I poured, I served, and I killed.
What?
That last part was just a little joke, you know? I am a gay man, so of course we have to say slay, yes, queen, hunty, bussy. I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere with this coffee mug. I need to find another weak spot in this case.
Hold it!
You're sure about that?
Well, to be really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time.
One of those candies might... Yet at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found. Ugh! It was a long shot anyway. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think that the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee?
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof.
The possibility is there. I can feel it. Just maybe not prove it. Not yet. And possibility isn't gonna cut it. Not now. Mr. Measham ingested that poison via a route other than that coffee. Proof. It's possible. I gotta risk it.
Oh, excellent. Let's see your proof then. Please show us your evidence. What evidence shows that the victim wasn't poisoned via his coffee mug?
Take that! Must I explain this over and over? We don't need possibilities here, Air Forehead. We need proof. I know that! Wait, what? It has poison on it! It has
Hold it!
I didn't lose any health, so it's whatever. Not one thing? You're sure? Yep, as sure as can be. Well, with one exception.
One exception? What?
Journalist Spock Brushel does interview, leaves studio. End quote. Oh, come on! It's a joke, get it? Not funny, I know, but still. Did something leave the studio that night? Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before?
Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night?
Was lurking for a while, but I gotta head off for tonight. Have a smooth stream. Thank you for lurking, Ryugen. Have a good night. Ooh, don't. Thank you. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye. Oh, I guess the box, because it's empty. I think one thing might have very well left that studio that night, actually. A certain something that's vanished from the crime scene.
By which you mean?
Something
Other than our witness?
Of course. Don't tell me. Vera Measham. Believe me, any chronic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional.
Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice.
Well, this thing wasn't at the crime scene, so I can't show it to you. But I do have evidence that it shows it could have been taken from the scene.
Take that!
Take that! This is the only link between that studio and the outside world.
A letterbox?
What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing the letter. Yeah, I said that, and yeah, it was true. And yes, it is Sunday, Hiro. Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. But that very same letterbox was empty. In other words, that night, the yellow envelope disappeared.
Objection!
Ah, yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. Huh?
He has a point, Mr. Justice. What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Measham. It is really important that this envelope... Is it really important that this envelope the witness says he saw disappeared?
Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me.
Very well, then. The witness will add this to his testimony.
You got it. I still think this fails to change anything in her forehead. I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for.
Hold it!
Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from that studio. QQ, thank you so much for 1 whole year in the Superstar Sub Club. Thank you for continuing to produce me, Producer-san. How are ya? Thank you so much for stopping by. And welcome in, Relix. And you were hiding that fact from us! My lunch was too short. I'm so sorry.
Yes, well, actually,
I don't argue the possibility that a letter disappeared from that studio. But Air Forehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us? Right. How Mr. Measham was poisoned, I know. But Mr. Brushell's testimony has changed, which means the facts of this case have too. And what he's told us means something entirely different now, I'm starting to think.
Let's keep thinking, Apollo.
Hold it!
Oh, oops.
Objection!
No, we can't do that yet, right? It can't be proven. I do believe our little forehead is growing up. Pity. We like the rash, youthful forehead best. Wait a second. We already know a letter might have left the studio that night. Couldn't that have opened another path for poisoning? The situation's already changed. I just need to take advantage of it. Now I can do it. Forehead growing up into 5-head.
Objection!
Save our game. Proof is possible. Here goes nothing. You do understand what we need, yeah? Proof, Air Forehead, not possibilities. Of course. And Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand. I'm ready to give you that proof. What did you just say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope.
I saw him writing a letter, I did.
Which was picked up by the mailman, I assume.
Of course, which means that envelope has a stamp on it.
A stamp? Ah!
As we all know, stamps come back with dried glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you have to wet it by licking the stamp. Oh God, no! Please, no, 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 no!
Objection!
No one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age.
Objection!
Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't! He is dead after all.
Objection!
Okay, so he licked the stamp, but wait! How does that explain the atroquinine on the rim of the coffee mug?
Objection!
If he licked the back of a poisoned stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? What would then happen if he put the coffee mug to his mouth? Those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing. It was the other way around.
What?
The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Measham. Mr. Measham poisoned the coffee mug himself!
Order! 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 But that doesn't... does it?
Recall, if you would. Atroquinine is a slow-acting poison, yes? The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on that envelope. But his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of joe.
You have something to add, Mr. Brussel?
Uh-oh. His nose is picking up another scent.
As I believe I mentioned earlier. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Measham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. Yes, a stamp! A so-called postage stamp, end quote. But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one.
Maybe he just ran out.
Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There was no stamps. Not a single one.
That does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison?
Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he used was poisoned possible. Good show, good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place.
Well, let's hear what the defense has to say anyway. Where's your evidence that proves the existence of this poison stamp?
Take that!
Well, that certainly is a cute little frame, and by little, I mean really little.
It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that too during my inspection. So what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important.
Missing something?
Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame. Atroquinine residue!
What?
Why wasn't I told about this? The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe an inch wide at most. You aren't saying. Oh, but I am. Tell me, what fits in such a small frame? A commemorative stamp, perhaps?
Order! 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 The poison stamp was in this frame!
Impossible!
But Prosecutor Gavin!
Why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck.
You know, can I say something? I had a thought. See?
Look, Mr. Brushel, and please stop chittering around like that.
The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of shmoney in that line of work.
Forger forges friends, makes enemies too, end quote. So the poisoned stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him!
Objection!
Oh, rich. That's rich. Leave the ridiculous flights of fancy to the Governor song lyrics, please. Finally, something we agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon? Nonsense. Murder is a simple business. Who would go to such lengths? No one. Oh, I disagree.
Come again?
Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle. Drew Measham hid from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail.
The mail!
Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew he read letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon! Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof! Show us evidence that the poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon. I might not have evidence per se, but things are finally starting to come together.
What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling.
I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know how Mr. Measham was killed.
Well, fill us in, Apollo, Mr. Justice.
A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor, which I will show you after I save my game. I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Measham the stamp of death.
Isn't this the envelope? The one from 7 years ago?
Think about the text of the letter again. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1. And this is page 2. Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. I need not remind you to speak of this to no one. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor!
In other words, if I have this straight,
The stamp! Poison on the stamp! Lick, lick, gasp!
end quote.
Now, what if he had done exactly as that letter asked?
He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right? Then he would put it in his letterbox.
15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. But the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath. And the murder weapon would be taken away from the scene.
Quite conveniently, thanks to the postal system.
My croissant. Such a splendid imagination you have there, forehead. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So, this poison stamp was inside this envelope from 7 years ago. Is that what you'd have us believe? Really? Well?
It's a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility.
Yes. A very small possibility. How small, I wonder? A poison stamp in this envelope? A stamp that's become the murder weapon? How do you intend to prove that seeming so coincidence?
Well...
It was 7 years ago, and we don't even know who sent that letter! Who is this guy? This game's Edgeworth. And your answer is silence. I see. Very well. I move to... It's not nice to pick on the Fraulein, Clavier. Oh my god. Ema!
What?
Surprise, bitch! Nice! Welcome in! Hello! That really was a what moment! Ema, save us! Save us from the nasty man! Save us from SpongeBob! Ugh.
Well? Like my Christoph Gavin impression? Did I sound like him?
Don't quit your day job. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fraulein Detective?
Someone had to come dig you all out of this mess if you're making of this case.
Mess?
You know, none of this would happen if you just trusted in the science a little more. You can find out if that stamp was in that envelope easily.
Care to explain yourself, Fraulein Detective?
Glare at me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right?
That's right! The poison detection spray!
Produce that red envelope at once! You can open it on the authority of the court.
Oh, here we go.
Well, would you look at that?
No mistaking it. It's a troconine residue.
I don't believe it. A murder weapon from the past. No, 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last.
Objection!
Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way.
Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago?
Well,
There's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Measham figured it out.
Figured what out?
He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead. So he sent his reply with a different stamp.
And put his decisive evidence in a frame.
Hold it!
Hold it! You're still here?
Can't I make a statement here on the record?
I, Spot Razor Tooth Bristle, claim this scoop as mine. Drew Measham killed in cold blood. by sender of 7-year-old letter. End quote. No, maybe something more succinct. Star falls after 7-year delay. End quote.
Order! Order, order! I see no room for further argument here. Though I admit this is all coming out as quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years. Stamp is ticket straight to afterlife. End quote.
Uh-oh, I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge.
I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant.
Apollo!
I think we just won.
Very well. This court finds the defendant.
Objection!
Is this the bright future of our legal system?
Prosecutor, Gavin?
A ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago? Tickets for Gaviner's shows are invalid after 2 weeks.
But it doesn't make sense any other way.
It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction in our foreheads claim. A contradiction? The poison stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago, whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Measham have done what he did?
Ema explained that! He must have realized it was poisoned!
Therein lies the rub. Ugh. 7 years ago, the forger Drew Measham sensed a trap and put the stamp in a frame. I do not debate this, but this begs the question. Why, 7 years later, did he use that stamp on the night of the murder? Ah! Surely you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Measham simply forgot. I would also question the efficacy of the poison after 7 years, but I guess the game would address that. I mean, first off, welcome in. Second off, I think it's kind of like, technically with, when it like think of medication, right? Like medication technically has an expiration date, but at the same time, like it could still be, like, people can still use it, it just wouldn't be as effective, right? Like, not saying, you know, let's all take expired medication, but it's like, there would still be, like, it would still have uses, it just probably wouldn't be as strong, right? So I would imagine the poison, like, even if 7 years passes, it still has the capacity to poison? Unless, like, there's a way to, like, completely neutralize it, but I don't think, I mean, also, this is a fantasy game, but you know. He put the murder weapon in a frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot.
You expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself?
Yeah.
Ah! While I admit this is all quite shocking myself, it does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap that had been sitting on his desk for 7 years.
Apollo!
I don't think we're winning anymore. I'm glad to see we're all back in the real world now. Welcome back to reality, babe. We've been waiting for you.
Objection!
Okay, then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in this envelope? The poison stamp? Where exactly is this poison stamp again? Have you brought it to court for us? I see no proof that such a thing ever existed.
Objection!
What about the atropinine residue, huh? Oh, I agree. That does seem to be a troquinine residue. But, Air Forehead, it's certainly no stamp.
Yeah, but
Even if your precious poison stamp did exist, Drew Measham never would have used it. That's all.
I believe we've come to a conclusion. Again.
Apollo! Were we wrong this whole time?
I can't believe it. The poison traces match up. It can't be a coincidence.
I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year. Mr. Justice,
Yes, Your Honor.
let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Measham received a red envelope. There were traces of the poison troquinine on the document inside of that envelope. A smaller trace was also found at the scene of the crime, on this tiny picture frame. The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope. It is eep time for you, so you shall sleep. Good night, May. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great rest of your sleep and have a great week. Love you. Not love you, babe. Love you, bestie. An envelope that left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it.
Yes, but even if this envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Measham, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp.
I'm afraid you're right. Which means there is a fatal flaw in the defense's case.
I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time. I'm sure of it. The traces of a troquinine, the envelope, the frame, and Drew Measham's mysterious death. They're all connected somehow.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us?
The defense stands by its case, Your Honor.
Oh my god, Kiro style, hi!
Hi. Welcome in. Welcome in, Yasmin. Hope you guys are all doing good. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense. Which means that one of our clues must be a fake. Huh. A fake clue? Fascinating. And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable, yeah? The only wild fantasies you have are the ones about me! The fake clue that's thrown off us. Oh. Oh.
The victim was a fake clue? I'm afraid I don't understand.
I'll explain after I turn on my AC because it's starting to get muggy in here. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. That all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the victim himself.
Objection!
Congratulations. You've completely lost me. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of fake himself, the forger. Makes a good story, I'll give you that. The fake clue. Fakes. Forgeries. Ah!
I know that face. That's the I just had an idea face.
I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going with it anyway. What if our forger is the fake? Come again? Clavier, love him. I want to run my hands through his hair. Yeah, enjoy the feeling of a steel drill. 7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into that very same trap and dies. Why?
That's what I want to know.
Because the forger who was killed was a fake! Here we are again. The victim was a fake. Wait, let me try something. Let me see if I would like Clavier if his hair was not that. We'll pull up Photoshop right now. I'll make this work. I gotta load up Photoshop. Clavier makeover time. Okay, wait. Let me... Studio mode. Window capture. This isn't Photoshop. What the heck? Give him twin drills? Absolutely not. Oh, does Photoshop not work with OBS? Damn it, you guys can't see me doing Photoshop. Okay, let me just try hiding his hair. Yasmin, thank you for the care package. Give me 1 second. I started this tangent, I gotta commit to it. Nope, still not into him. This entire sequence didn't make sense for me. If Drew Measham knew the stamp was poison, why would he keep it in a frame, no less? I don't know. We'll just see how this game goes. But anyways, let's go ahead and stand up from our seats. We're going to go ahead and twist our bodies to the left. Twist our bodies to the right. Let's go stretch our arms straight up to the sky. Roll out that right shoulder. Roll out that left shoulder. Very slowly, very gently, let's roll out that neck. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let's go ahead and drink some water. Thank you. One forger smelled the trap. One forger fell into the trap. That's 2 forgers! And one of them was a fake! Oh my god, I got it. She's the real Drew Measham, because Drew could be a gender-neutral name like Drew Barrymore!
Order! Order! Order!
So you're telling us that Drew Measham, the victim, was a fake? Well, if he was the fake, then who was the real forger? You'd better not be claiming that that's some kind of switcheroo, Buckaroo Boo.
I'm afraid you're going to have to back up your story. Mr. Justice, show us just who the real Drew...
Oh my god, is it really Vera? Is it really Vera? Did I get it right? Drew Measham wasn't the real forger. There's only one other person it could have been. Understood, Your Honor. Forger Drew Measham was himself a forgery. The real forger was... Take that! There can only be one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger known as Drew Measham is none other than... his only daughter, Vera Measham!
Order! 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 Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb even for you!
I kind of agree. I mean, Vera? A forger?
Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery had been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger.
Well, actually, that does make a certain kind of sense.
One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio. Drew Measham's and Vera Measham's. If we know that Drew Measham wasn't the forger, that leaves only one possibility by process of elimination. The forger was Vera Measham. Well, was I on it? Was I right? Oh my god. Did I finally have my Kiro moment when Kiro like explains the plot that's gonna happen and then that's exactly what happens because he's smart? Fascinating. Vera Measham.
You've been paying attention to the trial so far.
Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who's the forger? Drew Measham. Was that an expression of emotion I saw on her face? She's staring hold. Oh no! She's thinking yowie of him! She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face. I'm used to being stared at by Fraulines, believe me. Though they usually talk to me too. Tell me, babe, were you the one who forged those works of art?
Yes.
Oh my god!
This is what a superstar looks like.
I had my Kiro moment, guys! Let's fucking go!
So, the forger, Drew Measham, was you?
Yes. It was me.
What? What?
The court was in an uproar, and it wasn't coming down. We had to break for a 10-minute recess. Oh my god! Okay, before we end for the day, because obviously there's gonna be a next section, let's go ahead and do a little bit of the talking after the like before we go back into the court, and then when we go back into the court, we'll discuss for a bit, and then we'll call it. Oh no, they say okay. Never mind then. I guess we'll call it here. We'll call it here, and then we'll start off next week with the works. But oh my god, the twist. All right, there we have it. Holy crap. I love Ace Attorney so much. This game is so wild. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you guys had fun. We'll be continuing it on. I'm gonna go ahead and share the schedule soon. I just need to finalize some stuff. But instead of Ace Attorney being on Sunday next week, I'm gonna be busy, so I'm gonna be doing Ace Attorney next Saturday. Would you guys prefer morning or evening time? I guess we'll do a quick little poll, just so I can get a pulse on seeing what time you guys would prefer. Morning, like this start time. Morning or evening. So morning start time would be like when I usually start on the weekends, and then evening would be when I usually start on the weekdays. So let me know, but either way, I'll get that all ready. And of course, as always, if you guys are new here, next week doesn't matter because I'll be away, but evenings are usually better on the weekends. Sounds good. Yeah, but if you guys are new here, feel free to keep up on all the socials on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at I'll tell you, Kieran, if you guys want to join the Discord, the link is available down at the bottom of the chat. Of course, anyone's welcome to join as long as you guys are over 18, but you guys better be adults if you're watching this stream, or else. Yeah, I'll see you guys again soon. But before we go, we're gonna go ahead and raid out into... Yes, he's still going. We're gonna go raid into Light, who's currently playing The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. So if you guys can, let's go ahead and send him some love. Give him the hiya hey heys. If you guys have access to the emotes, make sure you go ahead and send the blankies, as always. And yeah, have a great rest of your Sunday, guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys soon, okay? I love you. Otsu Kieran! Fuck, it's a Sunday. Happy Sunday.